Cricbuzz chatter at the end of day 5, and we thought, wow, we're going to have a conversation on a hard-stopping game, maybe some early wickets, a late order fight back, and a fight to the finish. And guess what? It rained, and it rained, and it never stopped raining. And the good thing was it never gave you a chance in any case, but it allows me to get Michael Vaughan in and allow me a rare dig at him at the English weather, though I suspect he'll say he's not from those parts. But Michael, what a lovely finish in prospect, and the rain ruined it.
Yeah, huge disappointment. There was a big crowd gathering. I think we got the rain today that we were expecting yesterday. We didn't expect it to rain the full day. I thought we were going to get at least a sessions play, which would have made it very exciting. You know, I like Test cricket, Harsha, and I get so disappointed when we get to the 5th day and all that kind of joy that we're expecting, the drama, we're not too sure what's going to happen, and that gets taken away from us. I'll be totally honest with you, England got away with that. England got away with that test because realistically, they didn't play a great game. Joe Root was magnificent. Ollie Robinson, Jimmy Anderson was very special. But other than that, there wasn't a great deal to talk about. So as much as Joe Root will probably put a bit of a positive spin and say his team could have won, I think they're on the bus down to Lords. Absolutely delighted that they got away with the draw.
I mean, you've been captain so many times. There are things you say to your team, and there are different things you say to the rest of the world, and there are different things you know deep within you. And I agree completely. So I just got the feeling when I saw the overcast conditions, I said, you know, if England can nip out a couple, I think we might have a really close match. I thought India started favourites as well. You mentioned a few names. I mean, Joe Root's century was sublime. But I thought India went away with a few positives. The return to form of Bumrah, the return into the side of KL Rahul was huge. Ravindra Jadeja did what he was picked for. He was picked to bolster the lower middle order. That is what he did. Siraj, Shami, Shardul Thakur, they chipped in as well. I think India would have been even happier if 3, 4, 5 had got a few more runs. But maybe they'll get those at Lords, where as things stand, the weather for those 5 days looks good. But then hang on. Yesterday, the weather for today was pretty good as well. Yeah, you said England left happier, but I think England also left with a few problems, Michael.
Yeah, they've got huge issues. They've got problems with the batting lineup of what to do. I think they need to make changes. You know, Ollie Pope, if he's fit, I think he'll replace Dan Lawrence. Zach Crawley at number 3 just looks like he needs a bit of time away from Test cricket. There's a lot of pressure on young Zach Crawley, and maybe just a little bit of time away. Just go and work on his game, and then he'll come back, I'm sure, for the Ashes series on wickets that suit his style of play. I'd send an SOS to David Malan and put him at number 3. I think he's a high-class player, got a bit of experience. And also, I changed Dom Sibley at the top of the order with Hasib Hamid. So I'm moving and shaking in terms of the batting lineup. Somehow England will need to find a spinner because the forecast is good for Lords. You know, the forecast is that the weather will be set fair. The pitch will be a good one. It'll dry and it'll also spin over the 5 days. So I'd be very much wary from an England perspective if they go with no spinner in those conditions. It's just who they move around. I would think Ollie Robinson, Stuart Broad and Jimmy Anderson will be the 3 seamers, but England won't want to go with 4 bowlers. Jonathan Agnew, we both have worked with in the past, said they need to send an SOS for Moeen Ali. Moeen Ali then comes the all-round, and then you can play the 4 seamers also. So there's, as you said, India, I think, are a lot more settled. I'm not too sure whether they'll make a change. They'll probably go the same again. I mean, that's the question I'll ask you. The template, Virat Kohli said in the press conference that this seems to be the template that they're going to go with. They'll have to have a look at the conditions and the pitch, but 1 spinner, 4 seamers for English conditions. Do you agree with that, Harsh?
You know, the moment he said, this is our template, he actually ended up saying a lot more. Because the moment you say that, India has 6 fast bowling options. Fast or seam and swing, whatever. 5 of those do not bat. I mean, I know we had a bit of a rearguard action from the tail, 9, 10 swing their bats. We all get very happy, and it's important. They've been practicing their batting a great deal. But there's only one who can bat at 6, at 8 rather, and that is Shardul Thakur. So the moment you say we're playing 4, Thakur says, right, thank you very much, Virat, I'm playing. But the moment you say that as well, because Shardul Thakur is not a Jadeja with the bat. So then you have to play Jadeja as well, because then Ashwin at 7, Thakur at 8 starts to become a little fragile maybe. So I suspect by saying this is our template, he's in a way suggested this is the team I'm happy with. I mean, you might say, okay, Umesh Yadav might come in for Siraj if required, or if Shami is not well, if Ishant is fit, they might move those three around. But I found that a little interesting because, I mean, one of the things we had talked about was as the summer goes along on the drier pitches, you might need a second spinner, wouldn't they?
Yeah, if I was India, I'd wait to get to Lords, and it may be number 8. It may be that they need the 2 and the 3 seamers, because Lords, I'm only going on what I've seen in recent times. If it's really hot and dry, winning the toss, batting, you will need 2 spinners. If you, I guess, lose the toss and you're bowling first, you might need 4 seamers. So it's that fine balance as the way that you go with your team. As we said, I think India have got a lot less headaches going into the second test than England. But I will say that I do think England will get better. I think Josh Butler will be better for the run out. He generally gets better as the series goes on in Test match cricket when he's not been playing a lot of red ball cricket. Joe Root's in fine form. Bairstow looks like he's nearing a big score because he was in good form. Ollie Pope, I think, will be better in the middle order. Hasib Hamid will come into the side, and I'm pretty sure he will do. Fresh mind, fresh face. He's got a lot to prove, so I think he'll be better than what they've had. So the changes, I think, will improve England. The toss will be very important. I think whoever wins the toss and gets runs and gets the opportunity to get runs first, I think that's going to be a big play.
I'm looking at it from India's batting point of view. I thought the arrival of KL Rahul meant even if Mayank Agarwal is fit, too bad, Mayank. I mean, he's your friend, just wish him well, but he scored runs and he looked really good. 3, 4, 5. I'm looking at 3 and 5 especially, and I really do want them to get a good game because there aren't a lot of replacements. I mean, what you could do is move Mayank to the top and play KL Rahul at 3 if you require. By the 3rd test onwards, you get Prithvi Shaw and Surya Kumar Yadav. But I'm not sure that the people who are coming in from outside are breaking the door down and telling the selectors, how dare you not pick us. I mean, there was a time when the Rahanes and the Pujaras and the Kohlis were coming in. Rahane had 19 centuries. Pujara had 14 centuries. They were both averaging 60 when they broke into the Indian side. Virat Kohli was averaging 53, 54. So none of these people are averaging 50 plus in domestic cricket. Plus, much like with England, India haven't had a domestic first-class game for about 15, 16 months now. So I think that those 3 are pretty much set in there. The big plus, Jasprit Bumrah. I thought Bumrah was a contender for man of the match too. But I can see why you'd be happy with Root. I can see why you'd be happy with Bumrah as well. But if Root had not played that innings, then the match could have been over last night. So I was torn between Root and Bumrah, but Michael, I'm okay with Root getting that.
I think on a week where the ball did so much, it was a toss-up between the pair. But I think on a week that the ball did so much, and I think also you put into the equation how much pressure the England captain's been under, and also the news of Jofra Archer during the test, the news of Ben Stokes just before the test, for him to stand up and play the way that he did. Jasprit Bumrah, I would say over the next 4 games, I would say to you, Harsha, I bet you he gets man of the match in one of those 4 games. He's bowling well.
I also like the fact that he plays with a smile. I mean, he's got an encounter with Jimmy Anderson. If you couldn't call it an encounter because one's number 11. But it's almost as if Anderson was saying, yeah, I mean, I know I'm 11, you're too good for me. They both had a smile with each other. They went away, and I thought that was a good part of the game. But we're coming to that stage now where we've got to look ahead, ask a few slightly hard questions, and it's time to, Michael, get into the hot spot. There was so much riding on this game for the England Cricket Board, for Test cricket as a whole, and here are 2 marquee teams, Test teams, playing together at a time when, to be honest, if you gave everyone in world cricket a truth serum, I don't think too many people would say we actually want to go out and play Test cricket. They'd say it, but with a truth serum, they might say something else. But here we have India-England marquee series, and we couldn't play. Is there something we can do about it? We had a question saying, can you have a reserve day? Then you've got to have a reserve day in a test match in Bangladesh, in the West Indies, in Australia as well. Do you just say that's what it's been for a while, or can world cricket do something about washouts like these on a big day?
No, I don't think you can have a reserve day. I think 5 days is plenty, but I do think Test cricket has a problem, and I'll say that In other formats that we see, 2020 cricket, the 100 ball, 50 over cricket, it seems to be more of a desperation to make sure they get back on the field. And when they're on the field, it's make sure that you stay on the field unless the conditions are completely against the way the game can be played. And I honestly think that, I'm a bit of a has-been now. I've not been playing for, 12, 13 years. So I think people say, you're a bit like a broken record because you're always complaining. I actually care about the game, and I can care about Test cricket more than any of the formats because it's the greatest format, but it's the one format that we do everything to carry on playing. We give every excuse to get off the field. So the game of Test cricket and the administrators, they either have to come up with a ball that's the right colour to play in all light, and if that means that we play with a pink ball all the time, we play with a pink ball. They have to come up with the solutions. It's not for us, it's for those administrations to come up with the solutions to make sure that Test match cricket gets played more so. 3 nights this week, Harsha, I've been doing my segment on the television, on the outfield, in bright sunshine. And on those 3 evenings that I've been doing it, the game had been called off an hour previously. And we're talking about doing segments at 6:15. Today it was at 4:30. And I was thinking, wait a minute, why has it been called off so early when India only need 150 odd to win? If I'd have been India, I'd have been saying, I'm happy having 20 overs. Give me 20 overs to have a go for those targets. And if it means that we start at 5:45, we start at 5:45. I've driven back from Nottingham in bright sunshine. It's been breezy, perfect drying conditions. And surely the game of Test cricket needs to realise that we just need to get out there. I'm not saying to play in the rain. Obviously, if it's raining, that's unfair on anybody. But try and play in bad light when the lights are on. We need to make sure that we try and carry on. We need to try and get back on the field when there has been rain quicker. And I think it's the administrators and the managements of all these teams around the world, for the good of Test cricket and the amount of money that people pay to go into the grounds to watch it, the amount of money the broadcasts are paying for Test match cricket, we have to try and get the show back on, because all the other formats, we seem to do everything we can to get that game back on. We don't seem to be as fearful about, a player getting injured or someone sliding on the outfield or something happening in a T20 or a 50. As soon as Test cricket, it's like, something could happen. Just get on with it. I just think we need to change ourselves. We need to change the mindset around Test cricket that it's not always going to be perfect. And you know what, as a team, you might now and again get a little bit unlucky. And you might not be in pure, perfect conditions all the time, but it's just the nature of a 5-day game. You get the rough with the smooth. Get on with it.
Could not agree more. And I think Cricbuzz needs to just put that little segment out and play it by itself, because sometimes, and we're all Test cricket lovers, a lot of us here, but sometimes we just only talk to each other, and we say the things that each of us likes to hear. Michael, I love Test cricket. Yes, Harsha, I love Test cricket. But I think Test cricket needs to get out of its ivory tower sometimes and go and ask the man in the street, what do you like about Test match cricket? Are you saying yes because Michael Vaughan is saying Test cricket is great, because Michael Atherton is saying Test cricket is great, because Sunil Gavaskar is saying Test cricket is great? Or do you actually like Test cricket? How can we make it friendlier for you? Because we're getting rivals from within our family as well. There's another kid brother who's going out and doing really well. So I think we need to move out of our ivory towers and make it more friendly, which is how T20 evolved. And I'm absolutely with you. If you could have got an hour and a half's play, okay, we're talking 18 overs of play available. Can you imagine India barnstorming 18 overs? Everyone's stopping what they're doing to watch. We say we can get 32 overs. England nicked 2 or 3 out with the ball moving around. Suddenly everyone's watching. I mean, I know I'm on a few social media groups and everybody was waiting for the game to start. So I didn't have as strong a view as you, Michael, because I wasn't at the ground. I didn't know how strong it was, but I'm absolutely certain. I also think you just need to cover the whole ground as much as possible. Cover the ground, unless your drainage is so good that you can start immediately. I know most grounds are like that as well. So there you go. I'm very, very happy you said that. Before we end, I'd like to cast one look back. Every single Test match, whether it's 3 days, 4 days, because of the nature of the contest, has some heartwarming moments, something you will take back. I took back a few. I know Joe Root is a bit of a kid brother of yours, but if you meet him, just pat him on the back. I thought that was a century of extraordinary class. Too often, we wondered if Joe Root gets his place in the pantheon. But I thought in that innings, he showed why he deserves to be there. I enjoyed Bumrah. I liked overall the spirit in which it was played. Robinson had a few things to say. Siraj had a few things to say. But nobody crossed any line. I just thought it was very good, tough, combative cricket.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think over the course of the next 4 games, we're going to see plenty of that. I'm sure we'll see personnel change in the bowling department, maybe a bit of personnel in the England batting lineup. But I'm already a big fan of Mohamed Siraj. I just think he's going to bring.
It's because you're by nature feisty, Michael. There's a feisty gene in you somewhere.
I just think he's going to be the kind of bowler that's going to keep charging in. I hope he plays at Lords. He may not, because Ishant Sharma's got a tremendous record there. We'll have to wait and see. But I hope he plays, because the Lord crowd will be loving that confrontation. We're in for a special series. I hope we can see similar kind of cricket. I'd say India had 70% of the game at Trent Bridge. England had probably maybe not even that much, but they've managed to scrape the draw. England will have to improve in all departments. And you're looking at fielding. Fielding for me in Test match cricket gets overlooked because we always talk about special bowling or special batting. England's fielding has to be a lot better, because run-out chances, catches, you can't put them down against this kind of quality Indian side.
I'm going to pick one moment, Michael, and I'm going to leave the last word to you to pick one moment that you will take back, or maybe as you were driving back home, you're thinking, that was nice. And I just thought that second new ball, the ball that Bumrah bowled to I have saying Michael Vaughan, the ball that he bowled to Joe Root, and just took the edge, took the bounce. It was a beautiful ball to a man who's played one of the best innings of this summer, one of the best innings he has played. And I just thought it was beautiful. That ball from Bumrah to Root, to a top batsman, from a top bowler, that was a contest that I liked. To me, I'll keep that in mind. Among other things, I mean, I thought Anderson to Pujara and Kohli was another thing to feel wow about, but I don't want to influence you. If I ever
seeing Virat Kohli get out first ball is a rarity. That was a special moment, the buzz around the ground. I think Ollie Robinson's a special cricketer potentially in the making. He's only into his 2nd Test match. We saw him at Lords on his debut against New Zealand. Then there was obviously the outcry of his tweets from many years ago. Rightfully so, they had to suspend him, in my opinion. But to come back and play so well on the second time of asking, having been under all that pressure, shows to me that he's made of some quite sturdy stuff, and he's a wonderful over-the-top bowler. And I think at Lords in a few days' time, where he bowled so well against New Zealand, really looking forward to him bowling from that pavilion end, using the slope, as I'm sure many of the Indian bowlers will be looking forward to doing so as well. But I love India coming to the UK. I just think it always, you bring so much kind of passion in terms of support. I know there's not as many been able to get over, but there was a lot of Indian support at Trent Bridge, and there'll be a lot more at Lords. We're in for a special series. I'm pretty sure about that.
I'm delighted you brought up Ollie Robinson. I'm a firm believer in second chances in life, and I won't be surprised if he's able to convert that setback into an advantage. Sometimes when you have a setback, you just emerge stronger, and your career goes somewhere else. But we'll check out what happens at Lords. On Test match cricket and protecting it. We'll put that out separately as a piece in itself, and look forward to catching up with you from Lords.
Cheers, mate.
Pleasure.